and welcome to another California Guy video with your boy California Guy. What's up, everybody, and welcome to this video. This video is entitled Coonism and White Supremacy 2017. Now, for the last day or two, it's been announced from Donald Trump that he will be building a wall across the United States to block out illegal immigrants. It's been announced that Donald Trump is putting he's putting a freeze on Syrians coming to the United States. It's been announced that he will be sending feds in to Chicago. In what capacity, I do not know. But this is the start of white supremacy coming alive. Now, a lot of doubters out there, a lot of African American individuals do not believe white supremacy does not exist. But you're having the um, the reality is starting to come true. The targeting of police officers and feds in Chicago means that all black citizens will get rounded up and stopped. With them keeping out Hispanics, they're building this whole country up to be pro-white. That's the end game with Donald Trump and the Conservative Party and white America in general. The goal is to program Negroes into believing that whites and accepting white supremacy and accepting defeat. That's the job of the white supremacists and the coons. The coon is put in place to brainwash other blacks into thinking that they cannot build their own communities up to them for themselves. They brainwash black people into believing that being of African descent is horrible. So that's the job of the coon. The coon is his place is being he's put in place for that reason. Whereas the white supremacists, they're working on other things. Now, the question for people of African descent is, what are we going to do about this? And again, I've said this in previous videos. What we need to do is we need to get on code. We need to get on some game. We need to get on our own self-interest. What I mean when I say that, we need to start building up our communities. We need to utilize group economics. We need to stop shopping at white establishments. We need to start really focusing in on black ownership, blacks owning property, buying up farms, and blacks buying up houses, because at the end of the day, these communities are going to get shut out. And black people will be the targets next, believe it or not. And we're already the targets. Right now, they're focusing in on Muslims and Hispanics. But this is a test game to see how to attack the African American people and the people of Africa. So that's the whole purpose of the white supremacists. The white supremacists use coons to push out their messages. The coon is designed to say that black people are race baiters and that racism is their imagination, or if a black man gets shot, you have coons justifying it by saying blacks listen to too much rap music or they're not educated, things of that nature. But African American people need to be awakened from white supremacy. White supremacy has kept black people in bondage for decades. Your white supremacy has kept black people from being successful. Now, with the presidency of Donald Trump, you're going to see white supremacy prevail in different areas. You're going to get attacked and held back, as we've been held back. But now our freedoms will get stripped even further down. So everything that's going on is going to be um, we're going to get stripped of our rights. Black people are already slaves, and we now need to start controlling our own communities. Like, again, farming, building up money in the black community. We need to start focusing on a black tax. We need to focus in on our own products. Black people got to focus in on maybe creating companies and manufacturing places. We need to create schools like Brother Umar was trying to do. We need to do all those different things. We need to get rid of the black coon because something Tariq Nasheed said in his video that, in South Africa, when Mandela was in prison, of his wife and other Africans, man, the coons there were tied up and burned alive. They put the tire iron around their neck and they burned them alive, is what they did to coons. They put them in the ditch. And, basically, we need to start figuring out ways to deal with the coon in America because they're slowing the process with real African American people by coming out preaching hateful dialogue about African American people, because that's all the coons do. They preach hateful dialect. They say that they're helping African American people, but they're not helping African American people. They're telling us to be subservient. And black people are already slaves in the United States. So black people need to start rising up and fighting, learning their history. But one way to fight against white supremacy is financial. That's the thing we need to do. We need to start focusing in on the financial part. It's one of the reasons why the Ku Klux Klan existed, and one of the reasons why blacks were slaves was financial reasons. We need to start building up black economic empowerment in the United States. And if we don't build up black economic empowerment in the United States, then we will still be doomed to slavery in the United States because black people owns absolutely nothing. Black people don't own anything but the clothes of their backs. We own, in fact, Italians and Jews and Hispanics and Asians own way more than black people do in the United States. Black people own absolutely zero. Black people, we're trying to start some stuff, but we get shot down. So we need to start getting on some black economic empowerment because that's one way of defeating white supremacy. White supremacy is an ideal and a thought and a goal. That's what white supremacy is. The ideal of pushing a ideology out there where black people cannot financially do for themselves. And that's the whole thing that's going on. We cannot do for ourselves. We're dependent on Caucasians. We're dependent when we go to work on what they are, on them controlling us. Because when you go to work, they control your actions. When you go to work, you're still a slave to the system. When you go to colleges, you're still a slave to the system. So we need to start building our own stuff, just like Jewish people have done, Hispanic people have done, Russians have done, and Polish have done. They all got their own community, so they're able to fight off against white supremacy. But we do not have the tools to fight against white supremacy, is because African American individuals have gotten complacent with what white daddy is giving them, the scraps that white people give us. And we need to start building our own. We need to start using money for the black dollar. We need to use the money to put in more black doctors. We need to use the money to have more black lawyers. We need to use the money to have more blacks in Fortune 500 corporations, more than what we already got, not controlled. So that should be the goal of the African American person, is black empowerment. Financial will defeat white supremacy. Having our own and knowing how to battle it. But like and share this video, people. I thought to say that. And have a nice day.